4, 3, 2,
1. Live. Live from Vienna City Hall. Servus, willkommen and good afternoon, Europe. Welcome to the semi-final allocation draw for the Eurovision Song Contest 2015. Thanks to Conchita Wurst, this year's Eurovision Song Contest will be held in Vienna. Again!
Yeah.
Well, actually, it took some time. 1967. Since then, the contest has changed a bit.
It sure has. In 1967, there were only 17 countries competing here in Vienna. This year, we will have 39 countries in the contest. And that's the reason we had to borrow 9 of our mayor's bowls.
He sure loves salad, obviously.
Yes. We will allocate the countries in 2 semi-finals. The first semi-final will take place on May 19 and the second semi-final will take place on the 21st. And then the grand final is on May 23rd. So don't make any dinner plans for these dates.
No? You shouldn't.
No.
With this year's Eurovision Song Contest, we are looking forward to building bridges all across Europe, bridges between different cultures, different national identities, and of course, different tastes in music. Now, though, we're not building bridges, we are rather building semi-finals.
Yes, a process which is both serious and complicated. But today we are fortunate enough to be joined by some very experienced scrutineers. The executive supervisor from the EBU, Mr. Jon Ola Sands. The voting supervisor, Mr. Thomas Biedermeier. And from the Austrian public broadcaster ORF, Director of Television, Katrin Zechner, who would like to say a few words.
First of all, welcome Europe. Welcome Europe to Vienna. And to make our slogan to be seen, the slogan Building Bridges, the focus, the center of our set design in the Stadthalle will be a huge eye. And I hope we can see this now. The center of the set design will be an eye, because to see and to feel from your heart the vision of the building bridges, you need your eyes. So with the homepage now, which is starting today too, I invite you all to build bridges with your neighbor, with your son, with your daughter, with somebody you don't like at the moment, perhaps. Build bridges like we do, Jon. We build bridges between Norway and Austria. Build bridges and send the videos and photos to the ORF homepage. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katrin. 39 countries are competing in the 60th Eurovision Song Contest, and 6 countries will go directly to the grand final without having to qualify. Those countries are, of course, the so-called Big Five: France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. And also already qualified for the final, the host country of Conchitastan. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Formerly known as Austria.
Yeah.
But although they don't have to qualify, they each have to broadcast and to vote in one of the semi-finals.
So the first step is to determine which of the 6 pre-qualified countries will air and vote in which semi-final. While I'm concentrating on which bowl to draw from, Mr. Jon Ola Sands will give us some important news.
Yes, due to a request from ARD, which was approved by the Eurovision Song Contest reference group, Germany has already been allocated to a semi-final. Germany will air live and vote in the second semi-final on May 21st, 2015.
Sehr gut. Wunderbar. So, since Germany is already allocated, we will now make the draw to determine which semi-final will be aired and voted in by Austria, France, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom.
We have the names of those 5 countries in this bowl. And in this bowl, we have cards saying either semi-final 1 or semi-final 2. Okay? Let's get started.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Big 5 and Austria. Spain.
Okay. Andy? Please.
We'll go into
Draw, close your eyes. Thank you. We'll go in semi-final 1.
to mix this. Okay, next up, it's Austria.
Oh.
Very unusual for us to be on that position.
Close your eyes and draw.
Think of me.
Thank you very much. Austria will vote in semi-final 1.
Italy.
Thank you. Italy will vote in semi-final 2.
2 more left. France.
Please. Thank you. France will vote in semi-final 1.
And finally, this should be,
Okay.
shouldn't it? Yes. It's the United Kingdom.
And United Kingdom will vote in semi-final 2.
Well, that was easy,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yes.
Now, now for the more sophisticated part. We have 5 bowls with us for the upcoming draw, containing the 33 remaining participating countries that will now be allocated to the 2 semifinals. 16 of them will be in the first semifinal, 17 of them will be in the second semifinal.
We also will determine in which half of the semi-final a country will start. Countries that draw a pink note will start in the first half of the allocated semi-final. And countries with an orange note will start in the second part of the respective semi-final.
The 33 countries' names have been put into 5 different bowls, and the decision about which country goes into which bowl was based on voting patterns from the past 11 years. This was done to separate nations that, well, how shall we put this, sometimes show a little tendency to vote for each other. So this point is to increase the excitement and to decrease the predictability of the so-called neighbor voting.
If you are asking yourself who did this complicated calculation of which country should be in which bowl, it was the company of that friendly man over there, Mr. Niedermeyer from our televoting partner Digame.
So, can we start now? No, there's one last thing to do. As we have 33 countries, there are 7 countries in the first 3 bowls and 6 countries in these 2. In the end, which means we have close to the end, there will be 1 country left in each of the first 3 bowls. So before we can begin to draw, we have to determine in which semi-final those last countries from bowls 1 to 3 will be allocated.
Let's find out now and place the notes in front of the respective polls so we can return to them later on. After the 6 countries from pot 1 have been allocated into the respective semi-final, the last country from pot 1 will be allocated in semi-final 2. And
That here.
the last country from pot 2 goes into also semi-final 2. And the last country from pot 3 will be allocated into semi-final. Thank you, Andy. 1. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching.
No, wait.
See you in May.
Wait. We have still to draw.
Yes,
and
we
to
have to
draw
draw.
and to draw.
And this is how it will be done. With these 5 balls, first we will do 1 full row for semifinal number 1. Then we will do a full row for semifinal number 2. And we are going to repeat that until there will be only 1 country left in the first 3 remaining balls.
Perfect. So let's go. Okay?
Let's go, finally.
Good. Tell us.
Yes,
We will start by semi-final 1.
in pot number 1. Serbia. Welcome back to the contest.
Serbia will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Just checking on you. Thanks for following. Hello, YouTube. This is gonna be on YouTube. Okay, Denmark.
Denmark will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Just wondering about the cats of the mayor. Belarus.
Okay. This country will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Greece.
Greece will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
And next up it's Romania.
Romania will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Okay, so now we go to the
Semi-final 2.
semi-final number 2. Start all over at pot 1 with Switzerland.
Switzerland will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Norway.
Norway will start in the first half of the second semi-final.
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Ireland.
And the country will start in the first half of the second semi-final.
The Czech Republic. Welcome back to the contest.
The country will start in the first half of the second semi-final. Back to semi-final number 1.
In bowl number 1, we've got Republic of Macedonia.
This country will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
Estonia.
Estonia will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
Russia.
Russia will start in the second part of the first semi-final.
I could do this all day. The Netherlands.
The Netherlands will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
And we've got Moldova.
Moldova will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
Shall we go back to the second semi-final?
Yes. Perfect.
Slovenia.
Slovenia will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Latvia.
The country will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Lithuania.
The country will start in the first half of the second semi-final.
San Marino.
San Marino will start in the first half of the second semi-final.
We can use this to build bridges afterwards. That's good.
Okay.
Poland.
Poland will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
So we go back to the first semi-final.
Okay.
And the next country starting in it will be Albania.
Okay. Albania will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Finland.
Finland will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
Tough one. Georgia.
Georgia will start in the second half of the first semi-final.
Belgium.
Belgium will start in the first half of the first semi-final.
Hungary.
Hungary will start in the second half of the first semi-final. Okay.
It's back to pot number 1.
To semi-final number 2.
Malta.
Malta. We'll start in the first half at the second semi-final.
Iceland.
Iceland. Iceland will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Next up, it's Israel.
Israel will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
Last country in this bowl is Cyprus.
Cyprus will start in the second half of the second semi-final.
And Portugal.
This country will start in the first half of the second semi-final.
And now, after 6 rounds, there are still 3 countries left. We already know in which semi-final they go, but still have to figure out in which half they're going to perform. So we know the last country from bowl number 1 will be in the second semi-final. And the last country, second semi-final, just to be sure, is Montenegro, of course.
And it is in the first half of the second semi-final.
Another one for the second semi-final. And that country is Sweden.
And Sweden is in the second half of the second semi-final.
How many do you have got?
One.
One here, one here.
Yeah, everything.
Looking good. Looking good. Semi-final number 1.
1.
Last country will be Armenia.
Okay. And Armenia is in the first half of the first semi-final. That's it.
That's it. Thank you. That is it. Well, let's have a look at the 16 countries that have been allocated to the first semi-final and the 17 going to the second semi-final.
Please note that what we know now is which country will be in which half of which semi-final, but the exact running order of the shows will be determined later.
Let's have one last look over to our scrutineers. Any objections?
No, this was very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything's done according to the rules of the EBU. Also the flowers, everything perfect. Good. Well then, thank you very much, Executive Supervisor from the EBU, Jun Ola Sant, from ORF Director of Television, Katrin Zechner, and our Voting Supervisor, Mr. Thomas Niedermeyer. Thank you.
Goodbye to everybody who is watching this worldwide on the internet. We are looking forward to seeing you in Austria in May for a fantastic first semi-final on May 19 and for a stunning second semi-final on May 21st and a gorgeous grand final on May 23rd.
We can't wait.
Yes.
Thank you very much for now. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. Live from Vienna City Hall. And don't forget to keep on building those bridges. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Also bei mir ist das nicht so stressig wie bei euch.
Ja. Nein, das war...
Aber wenn die Geli kommt mit letzter Moment,
Ja.
dann ist
Dann ist alles weg, was vorher war. Ja.
That was a good start.
Ja.
Ja, gut.